How we doing, everybody? Really fucking, really raw and so hard to do this. So hard to do this right now.
Are nothing new.
Just got back from the ground. Just got back from the game. Whatever. What do you say? Down by 36. What are you going to say? $36 points. It really could have been so much more, but for a bit of something shown in the third quarter. But ultimately, it's just not good enough, and it's rubbish.
Well, up in Surrey, like, fuck me, mate. And my father instilled in me from the first time I went to the football, you never leave early. I picked up my fiance's hand halfway during the third quarter.
No way.
They can go get stuff. And I have no shame in this at all.
Yeah, it's a tough watch tonight. It's a tough watch. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I think the club, despite best attempts, I don't think we've embraced the modern way to run a football club and to run a football department. I still think we're playing catch up, rightly or wrongly. But questions have to be asked internally, and I hope they're being asked.
I've talked with you ad nauseum about just our foot skills and how bad they are. And I think it's got to the point now, and someone talked about preparing for 2024. I reckon we basically need to put blokes into groups of good foot skills, average foot skills, poor foot skills. And then based on that, we make decisions as to whether or not they should stay on the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty flattening. I mean, the signs are there as far as I'm concerned against St Kilda.
Yeah.
I didn't like what I saw. Came out and beat West Coast, hit the job there. And then ever since then, it's back to reality.
You know, last week, that the quote came out from, I think it was last week, Mick Malthouse came out with that quote. You know, when I was at Collingwood, they had a massive windscreen. When I rocked up at Carlton, there was a big rear view mirror, and mate, did that rear view mirror really shine tonight?
We know this, yeah. Well, the Essendon Grog squad were on in full voice tonight, chanting "Don't sack Voss." That was fun. Then they tried to start a chant, "We hate Carlton," and that just didn't work. Then they started chanting, "We are Essendon." So I'm like, great, I'm going to punch someone tonight.
Can he let us down in the big moments? I am sick of it. It has to end. He's not a fucking captain. I'm sick. I'm sick of it. I don't care about their feelings anymore. I don't give a shit.
Taz, how's it going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Abroad Show here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. It is Monday, the 26th of May, 2025, and that is just a glimpse into the rabbit hole that I'm shortly going to go down over the next few weeks, try and pinpoint if anything is going to change. Full circle moments. So the show tonight's going to be a little different. We'll use this time to do potentially a mid-season review. The guest on the show tonight is you and anybody that wants to join. Quite frankly, I think it's extremely disrespectful to continue to ask other people to come on and sit with me for 1 hour and repeat the same shit over and over again. The thought of actually reviewing round 11 and what we just saw, the thought of that makes me like want to vomit all over myself. they don't deserve that type of attention. I saw unprofessionalism everywhere. I saw negligence everywhere. It's quite frankly disgusting what I saw on the weekend. And so this show can go for 10 minutes. This show can go for 10 hours. I don't mind. I've got a duty to those of you who tune in, who subscribe, who are members of the channel. And so I'll fulfill that duty. And if anybody wants to join and share any thoughts as to what's happening, what happened on the weekend, or what's happening moving forward, you're more than welcome to. I just can't really see the point in reviewing and finding the positives in the individuals, which, spoiler alert, there's about 4 or 5 of them. Young Harry O'Farrell, absolutely well done, young man. Liked a little bit of what Matt Carroll did. Good to see Sam Doherty respond after being dropped and show some heart. Good to see young Cooper Lord show some fight. But to be quite frank, the rest of them who are built up as these godlike things, and they get the spoils of putting on the monogram, they don't really deserve the status that they're given. And at some point, the reality's got to kick in that nobody really gives a fuck who they are when they leave this country. They don't know who they are. They don't know what this sport is. And some of the way that they act on the field is quite frankly disrespectful to anyone who's involved in supporting the club. So yeah, I'm going to say only a little bit more. I'll get on anyone here who wants to come in and have a chat. Anyone is more than welcome. And yeah, we can wrap this up soon. We can wrap this up when you're all done. So firstly, Christian, I see you in there, mate. I'm going to get you in here for a moment. Just bear with me. Hello, mate.
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Monday night, just finished the ratings. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty flat couple of weeks in terms of the footy, hasn't it? It's been hard to want to engage with them. There was the Sydney game, and then they backed it up with that, and dear, it's a bit filthy, isn't it?
It's the joy is really being sucked out of the game. Yeah. And, you can see the joy is being sucked out of those of them who are playing, those of them who are coaching. It's just an all-round joyless, soulless exercise at this point. So how are you feeling? I mean, we're 4-7. That's the fact. So I don't want to look too far ahead because ultimately this is where we're at. So how are you feeling about what you've seen so far this season?
Well, see, the thing is, you wanna write them off. You want to say like, they don't have it. But then you think about the last 2-3 years, and there's a part of me that almost wouldn't be surprised if they now come out and win 8 of the next 9, and then we're sitting here going, it's clicked. They're doing the right thing. But then you look at the 2 games that have just happened. Like, I don't know what to believe with them anymore. It's.
That's the part I'm struggling with the most because I teeter to and fro. I also believe that they're capable of going on some sort of magical thing and they'll find something. And I mean, I just played the fan cams compilation from 2023, and obviously what happened after that was quite magical. So I also do see what you're saying, that they've got it in them. But then I watch what happened on the weekend. I watch. I mean, how many moments can I pinpoint here? Guys overrunning the football.
Oh, mate, Ollie Hollands, and you guys spoke about this a lot in the review, but I remember, I've been there since day dot for Ollie. I know you have as well, and I know Pommy has as well. But just the way that they treated him, and you were so right earlier. With Walsh, it's like he's been Carltonized now. And now I'm looking towards the next ones. I'm like, is it going to be is it Ollie Hollands next? Is it Lockie Cowan next? Is it going to be Jagger Smith in 8 years' time? How long till those guys get to the point that, Walsh is at now? And, you can list off the guys before that. That's the part that I think worries me the most. We're not even at the point of worrying about this group. It's now we're getting worried about the next group, because everyone spoke about with this current group, with Harry and Charlie and Cripps, was that all they knew was losing. And then we finally started winning and they had to learn how to win. And now we're bringing in the next set and suddenly the same problems are there. sure, they've won a bit more, I guess, which will that make a difference in 5 years' time? I guess hindsight will tell, but do you worry about that as well? Do you worry about the ones coming through now? Do you worry about what's happening to them?
Well, I remember doing these shows when Walsh was drafted and he had
Yeah.
that possessiveness about him, that look in his eyes. He was so obsessed with winning and being great and raising the standard. And I remember making commentary around him saying, please don't let it get to Walsh as well.
Yes.
And I think we're starting to see the early signs of it if they're not already here.
Yeah.
He's not the only one that is now playing like something is restricting him mentally, and there's maybe scar tissue from whatever's going on the inside. I definitely resonate with that. And then seeing young Ollie Hollands make those runs and get burned time after time, it's only a matter of time before he starts saying, well, fuck this.
Yeah, and everyone's, now looking to the future like, oh, don't worry, like Cody Walker's going to be coming in 2027 or 2026, whenever it is. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's great, but how long until, it starts happening to him as well? There's got to be some kind of circuit breaker. And the problem is no one knows what it is because we've been through all these changes. We've sacked coaches. Maybe it is an issue with the board. I don't know. There has to be some circuit breaker at some point where that cycle just snaps. And do you know what I'm saying? Surely it can't just continue to be this rotating door of bringing in young talent, almost beating it out of them, and then we send them off because they're no good, and then bring in the next one. And there has to be some point, right? There has to be something that can be done. Surely it's not inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, there does. I think it has to start with them being truly honest, which I thought they had done that when they started 0-4 this year. We heard them week after week tell us, we're going to have honest conversations and we'll get after it and we'll look at, that sort of rhetoric. And then, they won a few games and maybe those honest conversations were happening. So where I'm at now is, well, did they go back on that word? Did they go back on those honest conversations? Did they have some sort of a coming together moment and now they've fallen back into those habits, we'll call them? But yeah, it's I'll tell you what the circuit breaker is. There's only one thing that really hasn't happened, and that's when the members stop talking and start acting.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because yeah, we have the biggest voice. At least you'd hope we do. But are you going to stop going to the games, Terry? I know that I'm still going to rock up to the games that I'm going to. It's almost ingrained in us. Are we really going to be able to put that aside for enough time to make our point?
It's an interesting question.
Yeah,
it really is. So, what's your plan for the break, mate? What happens in the bye?
Oh, mate, honestly, I'm just, I'm looking forward to not having to, sit through another game like that. Hopefully, a circuit breaker will be good for us. I'll just focus on stuff like, work, personal life. I guess not having the footy as an excuse for a day gives me an extra day to work on some of that stuff. And who knows, we'll come out the other side, because who knows, like they could come out, they could smash Essendon and then suddenly away they go. Or they could do the exact opposite and we're sitting here going, see, the bye did nothing. Just they're inconsistent, but they're inconsistent at being bad as well.
Yeah, we use the analogy. It's like they just need to have a hole to dig themselves out of, and they need to be doubted and they need to be questioned before they, turn it around. And man.
I want to touch on that point a bit because you've recently started following the cricket a bit in recent years, haven't you, Terry?
A little bit, yeah, slightly.
Yeah,
not as much as what my brother-in-law would like, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a massive cricket nuffy. I love it. I live for it. Love the sport. I keep thinking back to this summer where the Australia-India series, where Australia lost the first test. It was an absolute, farce. We got smacked off the park. Nowhere near it. All the questions start getting asked. And just the way that cricket team then came out and responded, and not just one game, like they came out the next game, they won that, they leveled the series. But then for the whole series, like they did not let India get near it after that. They took that result personally. It hurt them. It mattered to them that they gone out and gotten smacked like that. And I was almost hoping for something similar from this group after like the Richmond game, for example, or after the Collingwood game and going 0-4, where, they just come out and be like, nah, enough's enough. We're not copping another performance like that. And it just hasn't happened. And, I look at the cricket team a lot because Australian cricket's maintained success throughout its life period. It has its lulls. But then, you get a year like 23 where they bring back 2 trophies that they weren't expected to win at all. And then you go, well, what are they doing that's so different to what something like Carlton's doing? Like, is it a standard thing? Do the players not back themselves? Because if you listen to the cricket team, the players absolutely back themselves. You hear the way that Pat Cummins talks about the team, where he's like, we'll go out and we'll win. Like after the India loss, he came out and said, like, boys, one bad game doesn't change the fact we're the best team in the world. But then they actually went out and proved that for the next 4 test matches. They showed they're the best team in the world and they got it done. So does this group just not have that level of confidence in them? Do they not look at each other and go like, boys, we genuinely believe we're one of the best teams in this competition. We believe we're top 4. I mean, that's what Brian Cook said the aim was at the start of the year. So someone within the football club has to believe that we're a top 4 side. Does that not resonate with the players? Do they not feel that way? Is it a confidence?
The only thing I can resonate with what you said regarding the Australian cricket team, and again, I'm nowhere near involved in watching the Australian cricket team. But one thing that always strikes me about them all when they talk about the honour of wearing the colours and representing the country.
Yeah.
I don't see any player for Carlton talking about the honour of wearing the monogram. It's they'll talk to you about, you always want to play in big games and big crowds and we love our fans, and like they say that because they need to. I don't hear our guys talk with honour at all. So
and I agree, because like the ones that they, and like there is an element of your actions speak louder than your words. It's one thing to say that you're honoured to wear the colours. It's another thing to go out and display it. But then you look at guys like Ollie Hollands, who grew up a Carlton fan. You can tell it means something to him. Harry O'Farrell, his first game, another Carlton fan. And that's not saying that, we only we only go and pick Carlton fans to play for us. But you can see the difference, I think, in some of them. I do agree with that.
So mate. It's conversations with the fans that keep me ticking along, to be honest. So I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of it. And I guess we all do feel something, otherwise we wouldn't be here tuning into it.
Absolutely. Like if there's one thing that's for sure, it's this fan base is it's a special fan base in its own unique way. And I would say we deserve better. There are definitely those among us who deserve better. So I'll leave it there. I could go on all night, but we'll let the show go on.
All right, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Des. Have a good night.
See ya. Speaking of fans that truly make my day, this gentleman here is calling from the other side of the world, who has found this club and adopted it as his own. And that is Paul. Hello, sir.
Terry, how are you?
I'm ticking along, mate. Monday evening with the tea.
Hey, I'm in the gym at the moment, just working off some calories and getting the match of the weekend out of my system. The way you two seem to do it in the ratings, mate, you just had me in stitches. Honestly, what a great way to get rid of the pain. It's just great entertainment. Just you and Tom, just keep doing what you're doing, mate. It's brilliant.
No, thank you, mate. I think if we don't try and make it funny, then it gets very negative quickly. And so, at the end of the day, it is just a game, but it's a game that means a lot to people who spend their lives treating it like more than a game.
Yeah, and it's understandable. I've followed a professional rugby team for 35 years now, and so I'm used to the ups and downs and the passion and the pain, and I still see it week on, week out here, trying to watch Harlequins. They've had a an underachieving season, and there's lots of similarities between them and Carlton for me. You know, it, to me, I just think there has to be an issue in the dressing room. You know, when you see experienced leaders making basic errors or judgment decisions, you know, that they would never normally do, is to me, it's quite obvious that their mind is somewhere else. You know, that they are not focused. And, you know, they don't seem to be playing for the badge. You know, weeks like this, are they just playing for their wage packet? You know, and it takes the youngsters like O'Farrell, like Carroll, you know, these guys, you know, Will White, who are quite obviously playing for this club means everything to them, and playing for the badge. You know, I mean, is this club too big that it dares not drop some of these leaders and put a few more of these youngsters in to show an example and say, look, you know, you may be, Crips, you know, but you know, you're not too big to be dropped, you know, and go away and think about it and come back and lead by example. Because what we saw at the weekend was absolutely disgraceful. Um, you know, and the fans shouldn't have to put up with that. You know, you don't mind losing, but you want to see some effort. You want to see some commitment. If you're going to go down fighting. Go down with all guns blazing. Give us something to be proud of, not what we've been watching the last few weeks. You know, I mean, I know I'm new to the sport. I know I'm new to the Blues, but I bloody love this team. I'm absolutely with this, you know, and I can't wait to get out in July, and I definitely see the game against Hawthorn. I'm in Melbourne that week, and you know, I'm going to be screaming whether we've won another game or whether we haven't. Um, you know, you're in this, like you said to me previously. Once you get hooked with the team, you're in it for life. Um, you know, I don't know.
Well,
What do you think?
I think that I believe I could have misread this whole situation, but I was always of the belief in order to be a part of this club, passion is a must with what you do. Whether if you're a player, whether you're a staff member, there needs to be a level of passion. That is the one unifying trait that everyone must have. It's part of the identity, or what I think the identity of the club is. And I just don't see passion. I think passion is conditional for these players in this club. I don't think it's unconditional like what I believe it should be.
Yeah, you just want to see it. You know, it's quite
Mm.
obvious when you see it. You know, and your leaders need to step up
Mm.
and you know, not be afraid to lead. You're just not seeing it. And you know, if it's going to take to blood a few more youngsters who have that passion, you know, you might lose. You might lose a few more games, but we're losing anyway. You know, so what have we got to lose? Stick 'em in there. You know, these people who've just been living for years on their reputations.
Mm.
You know, drop them, bring some kids in. So you've got to play for your position again. You know, it doesn't matter what your name is. You might have been here 5 years. You might be on $1 million a year, and some kid's gonna come in and take your place. You know, try them. What have you got to lose? At least let the fans see that you're committed, that it means something to you, that to wear that shirt, you know, means something to you. What a great history and proud past this club's got. You know, I mean, it's one of the things that appealed to me. You know, I've read all about the great Carlton days. All right, you haven't seen them for quite some time, but you know, this club has got a really, really proud history. And you know, what goes around comes around. I'm a firm believer of that. You know, it probably won't be this year, but you know, you get it right, and this club will definitely be great again. And hopefully, I'll be there to see it. Hopefully, you
I
will
hope so
too,
too.
Tez.
I hope so you too, mate. Yeah, it is. Look, again, as I said earlier, the stories like yours definitely give me like a bit of spirit. And at the moment, the only joy I'm finding in this whole experience is through the fans. So I might get going because it's very loud on your end and there's a lot of background noise. But I do appreciate you calling in.
My pleasure, mate. And yeah, sorry, you caught me in the gym, but yeah, I'll catch you again soon. Have a
All
good
right.
week and enjoy next weekend's peace and quiet and no stress.
Thanks, Paul. See you, mate.
Take care. Bye.
Imagine finding Carlton in the last couple of years and getting on board. Young Zach.
Hey Tez, yeah, I just want to get on tonight and just yeah, talk about the game because obviously I was at a wedding on Sunday. I mean,
I know.
sorry, for the weekend.
I met your mum on the weekend. You there? You there, Zach?
Got me? You got me?
I do now. I said I met your mum at the game. Mate, your internet's no good. Sort it out and come back. John from Laylaw.
Tez, how are you, mate?
Mate, I'm ticking along. How are you?
Man, I'm drained, to tell you the truth. I'm at my wit's end. Yeah, look, we're beaten down. That guy the other day said it right. We're just beaten down, exhausted. You're like that rat on that, those rats that run. That's what we're like.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not even angry. I can't even be angry anymore. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit.
I was playing the videos from a few years ago where we were talking around the modern.
And it was exactly, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're talking about.
Michael saying that he left early, and that was years ago. And there was people on Saturday saying they left early. We left early. And then, after weedering stuff up, it was obvious. We were getting goals, and then just giving away cheapies, keeping them in the game when we had all the run. It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit. Look, the mentality's not there. They haven't got winners' mentality. They've never had it. They developed under the winning doesn't matter. Remember that, Bolton? Winning doesn't matter. And they're our leaders now. Winning doesn't matter. So the people that developed that as kids, Charlie, Cripps, all of them developed under winning doesn't matter. Harry, and now they're the leaders now.
That's an interesting point.
So when it comes to the crunch, all right, they want to win, but do they want to win? Will they kill to win? Like Sam Mitchell when he was a player. Or, I don't want to go back to our old days because I'm sick of that. But, modern day, like, players like, Jonathan Brown when he was a player. They do anything. They froth at the mouth to win. Anything. Winners. When it comes to the crunch, yeah, they want to win, but if they lose, it's all right. Like in the crowd on Saturday, Charlie was going for goal and someone goes, "It's okay if you miss." I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "What's going on, mate? It's okay if you miss. It's not okay if you miss." That's the mentality of our supporters because we've lost for years and years and years. It's loser mentality, man. And the ones, it's one or the other. It's either loser mentality or it's those ones that go over the top and get personal with the players and shit. The ones that can't handle it and, lose it at Motlop and at Evans and low-hanging fruit. Why don't you go for the billionaire players? Where was Charlie on Saturday? Where was bloody Cripper on Saturday, trying to take on 6 players and holding the ball? All of a sudden, bloody Walsh forgot how to measure 15 meters and started running like bloody Carl Lewis, a 100-meter sprint with the ball. Everyone goes on about Lewis Young, but Wiedering, our super Bruce Dool type fullback, was making like 65,000 mistakes on Saturday. No one goes for him. No, Motlop's the problem. I said I didn't have anger in me, and here I am, angry.
Well, my question is, what? You're not the only one that feels that way. You're not alone. But do you hold on to just that hope that maybe the next week will be better? Like, what keeps you going?
This is what they do to us. This is what they do to us. Because they've had the half-season patches. Their whole thing at the start of the season was, we've got to be consistent home and away side. Well, you're not. But what feels with a tiny bit of hope is their good half-season is about, it could happen because they've had their shit half-season. So, this is 20. It could be that. And that's why they mess with our heads. So even when we're good, we sort of think to ourselves, oh, look, don't get too high because the stuff up's just around the corner. And you want to be wrong, but we're not. And now that we're shit, you think, oh, that run might be just around the corner. It's happened every time. So we might come out and beat the Bombers. Then we got North, and then we got the Eagles, who aren't that easy beats anymore than they were early in the season, mind you. And then we'll be 7-7, and everyone will be, leads off. Fucking, what's his name? Dan Gorringe will start with his flaggers shit again, and all that stuff will start again, and we'll get carried away, and then we'll come out and get pumped by Port in Adelaide, and then everyone will be depressed again. Like I said, we're like that fucking mouse on that wheel.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And and then everyone starts about, we got what's that guy from Collingwood that's come in, Graham Wright. Graham Wright will clean out the joint. But we heard that about Cook. Cook will fix it up. Look, the writing was on the wall when Sayers got his dick out. You knew it was downhill from there, man.
You just had a feeling something.
Yeah,
cracked.
It's like when that happened, that's not right. He got it out. Then soon after that, Newman went down. Then a couple of months after that, like of all the clubs, of course, it had to be us that we get this pick. And his first game, shows a little bit and then does his knee. It had to be us. Of all the picks, had to be Jagger.
The hard part is accepting that it's just not our year. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
hard. You don't want it to be, because you don't want it to be another year year of them, man.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's another wasted year. After Geelong last year, and this is embarrassing, I turned to my boy, he's 13 now, and I said to him, we're good now, man. We're good now. We're good. Finally, I don't have to crack on those DVDs anymore and show you about Cooter and all that. We're good. You're living it, man. Be proud to be a Blue. It's like I jinxed them, man. Since then, what's happened? We've beaten the crap sides a couple of times and Geelong a couple of times. And even Geelong, we thought, we beat Geelong this year. We beat Geelong. We're back. He might be back. And then we're not. And then we, come out and bang, bang. We can't even beat two depleted sides. We've got Sydney, who, come on, we couldn't beat. Look at what happened the next week with the Sydney. They got pumped. The week before, the Dockers showed up. Giants looked like, world beaters against us, and our mighty defense. We're great. We're very sound defensively. 17 goals, 8. Sound defensively, my ass.
Yeah.
Our great defensive rock looked like the Rock. Like freaking a wrestler more than a fullback.
Yeah, mate. Speak well. I felt that was good. I felt something from that. I'm getting it from the supporters because the club don't have the passion.
Look, And you know what? You said before, they won't understand it until the members rise up or whatever. I think they will now because the bottom line is going to be affected. They came out so cocky start of the year, 110,000 members. Here we come. They're not even going to get 100 grand now.
Mm.
And they're struggling to get 100 grand. Attendances will dip. They have this year. Attendances haven't been at last year's levels. So that's
Mate,
going to affect.
Selling $10 tickets, mate.
Yeah, $10 tickets. That's it. So they know it. They know where once it hits the bottom line, that's the only way, man. The only way they know. And Cook's already gone. You know what I mean? He was already gone when he came. We got him out of retirement. And what is that? So really, he didn't really want to say as maybe would have said, the Carlton way. Here's some money, come on board. But really, did he really want to do it? Did he really have it in him to go that extra mile? That's what sort of fills me with a little bit of hope that this is like what Wright wanted this position. He wanted to be CEO. He wants to prove himself. Whereas Cook had his time. Geelong knew it. He was on an island somewhere, friggin', sunbathing. Then Sayers came. So that's sort of breaking up the Sayers, Cook, Voss era, just like the Swan or the Swan, Ratton, Judd era ended, it goes like that. They all align, and now that's coming to an end, Well, what we know, Sayers did what he did. Cook's gone, and who knows about Voss, man? We keep playing like this. Who the hell knows? His backroom men are gone. So, what are you going to do?
John, I've loved that. Thanks for calling in.
No problems, mate. Anytime. Go Baggers.
Go Bulls. Got a few more, but I just want to turn your attention to something. I did this in 2021 with the Constitution. This time it's the strategic plan. I want to show you lot the strategic plan, right? Check this out. Right? We've heard about the 7 key performance indicators that define the football club from 2022 to 2027, right? Remember there was a big uproar around why aren't premierships at the top of the focus? Well, here they are, win premierships. Fantastic. So of these 7 key performance areas, can someone in their mind compartmentalize what's on field, what's off field? I counted 1 on field personally, win premierships. That's an on field KPI. Number 2. So, I'm going to assume this is ranked in order of importance because winning premierships is at the forefront of everything that you do as a sports club. Number 2, great people and culture, incorporating diversity, inclusivity, and equality, strong leadership. Okay. I would say that is that could be on field. I'm going to say it's off field for the most part. You have your opinion on that. Number 3, membership, attendance growth, and customer centricity. Hang on a minute. Customer centricity. The customer. Oh. Customer centricity. It's a business approach where customer needs and preferences are the primary focus in every decision-making process. Can't believe I missed it. They've been calling us customers the whole time. The whole time. It's in front of us. It's been in front of us the whole time. We're the customer. Number 4, sustainable commercial growth and philanthropic ambition. Okay. Number 5, financial sustainability. Well, hang on a minute. Sustainable commercial growth, financial sustainability. Okay. Quality infrastructure, effective governance, and environmental sustainability. It's a football club. Effective club communications with its people, communities, and stakeholders. Okay. Effective club communications with its people, communities, and stakeholders. That comes after commercial growth and philanthropic ambition. That comes after environmental sustainability, effective governance, fun. Okay. And then number 7, develop and deliver authentic and aligned community programs. So key performance indicators by 2027. Win AFL and AFLW premierships. Plural. 125,000 club membership. Top 2 club engagement measurements. They love the top 2. They'll always tell you about where the top 2 in hits on social media. The suits with the white hair will tell you, and they'll use the word hits on social media. It's hilarious. 55,000 average AFL home game attendance, totaling 600,000. That's why they're selling $10 tickets, guys. I just thought this was really interesting. So what's the purpose of the club? A united, inclusive, and values-led club that achieves on and off-field success. So on-field success now comes third to being A, a united club, B, an inclusive and values-led club. 2 and 3. Okay. And ignites a sense of passion, pride, and belonging for our members, supporters, and stakeholders. Well, hang on. So who's the customer? Who's the customer? Why isn't the customer here? Interesting. Zach, you're back, mate.
You got me now.
I've got you now.
All right, Tez. So where were we?
Where were you, mate? How was your weekend? Oh, no. Zach, you're in. Yeah, you're not with us.
So I couldn't get on?
Hang on. Your internet's no good, mate.
Internet no good.
Wait, you there? No. Aiden.
What's this? Another fan cams?
Have you got light, bro?
Better?
As in, like, okay, that's a little bit better. But like light in your room?
Yeah. Do you want me to put it on if you want?
Yeah, I feel like it would just look a bit better.
Yeah, just get someone else on if you want, and yeah, I'll go do that.
All right. Zach, hang on, Zach, where are you? Mate, we're struggling with you. There's your link, mate. So yeah, found it interesting. Don't really know what's going on. Don't really know if we're on the precipice of turning this ship around or if it just keeps going down into the depths of hell. But we will see. Zach, we're going to try one more time, my friend. Hello, you there?
Good now.
I hope so, but it just sometimes it just pauses and cuts, but I hope we're good.
Yeah, so I didn't get to get on the weekend because I was at a wedding. So yeah. How did you see the game, Tess? Because obviously we didn't have the chat. It was very disappointing.
Disgusting. I don't have anything else to say other than disgusting.
Absolutely, yeah. I have to agree with you on that one. I think I watched the game. The overall performance was just terrible. I think Kerner had was it one touch in the second half? Was that it?
Probably. Wouldn't be too far off.
It just angers me. It angers all us. It angers all our fans. We've been waiting for success for such a long time, and we just haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it. You know, I go for Tottenham, right? And I've seen a trophy already, right? And I started following the club in 2018 when I started following soccer. So, like, we feel the frustration, and the club's let us down big time because our leaders in the game, like our leaders on the weekend, just didn't show up in the second half. Like every time that we would get a goal, they would get one back, and it was just, I mean, players like Adam Sard, he punched the ball directly in front of, the Giants played Toby Green. He got onto the end of it, goal. I mean, it's just so stupid, frustrating things. They're just consistent. Having too much of a tall defense. You know what I mean? Just these things. You know what I mean? What were you going to say, Tess?
Well,
Sorry.
No, I was going to ask. I mean, you're obviously the next generation now of the supporters, of the supporter base. So, honestly, I am mindful at times as well of not becoming that angry older person that was there when I started doing all of this, and I'm very mindful of that. But I just struggle to understand how this next generation are coping with it, because I feel like the younger generation have less bandwidth and attention span for this, but you seem to be like rusted on. So how do you support as a younger supporter?
Well, obviously, I know friends that have seen multiple premierships, so it's pretty frustrating. Yeah, it's just really annoying. I mean, I every week, it's a new week. It says, oh no, maybe they can bounce back this week. Maybe we'll see something, but it just hasn't been there this year. I mean, as the last guy said, everyone talks about Lewis Young. Everyone talks about that player, but like they're not talking about Adam Sard. That, like, all those, the error that he made, the high bomb kicking up into the forward line. I mean, it's just so frustrating. I mean, I think, like, we're just too slow coming out of defense. And did you see that? Can you see that? Do you think that we're too slow? Kicking inside 50 is not good enough. Like, you can see it, like, right? Or you might, am I not?
Absolutely,
am I the only person?
I see it, mate. No, absolutely, I can see it. Yeah. It's amazing that we can see it, and I think they can also see it, but for some reason it doesn't change. And that, for some reason, is the big thing that we ask every week on this show and every year. So, mate, we met you when you were, I think you were 16 when you first called in, maybe younger.
No, I was way younger. I think I was 12 or something, Tez. It was 2022. So I'm 15. Yeah, 12. I'm 12. Yeah, I was 12 back then.
Well, mate, Zach, we're going to see you with kids soon before we see a premiership. It's amazing.
Oh, we'll see what happens. But just two more things before I get off.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that we can bounce back. With Williams coming back and a few other players coming back, I hope that they can, they've got a week to get it right. We've got the bye now. Hopefully we can bounce back and go on, winning streak. I think there's been, back in 2023, we were in a similar position after we just won that Gold Coast game. I think we were like four wins, 1 draw, and 8 losses. I think at this time of the year when we had the bye. So maybe, we can get it right, fix it up. With Zach Williams coming back on the side, I'm expecting, Jesse Motlop to at least, to come out of the side. I hope that they can just get it right and, they can just turn things around, because I believe, and everyone should believe, we all just hope so, Tez. So, you have a good night, and, enjoy the bye, no stress, and we'll speak next week.
All right, mate. Take care.
See you, Tez. Have a good night.
All right. I've got Aiden and Liam. Aiden, you got the light on. Look at him, mate. You look great. You can see your beautiful face.
Is that better?
That's so much better.
Right. Yeah. So is this just another fan camps because Pommy couldn't make it?
No, like I said at the start of the show, to be honest, it's a bit embarrassing to continue to ask Pommy or the next person, hey, can you come and spend an hour with me? It's like, we're going to say the same thing. I don't really want to talk about the game, because I think we've all said it all. There's going to be a lot of other shows online. People will watch. They'll dissect the show. I watched the replay of the game and I was so disgusted in their performance and their approach. And part of me feels for them, of course, because something might be happening inside and they're just struggling and mentally they're clouded. But on the other end, it's like, you're responsible. But then on the other end, it's like, well, there's mediocre people failing at their jobs above them and they're copping the brunt of it because they're the ones that we watch play. So I'm so conflicted onto how to talk about it at this point. But the one thing that you always gets away with it is the very top. At the top, they always get away with it because they're, for the most part, faceless. We don't see the head of football talk. We definitely don't see the president talk anymore. So I do have space where I kind of feel for the players a little bit because there's a lot more than just them that are at fault.
Yeah, that little that KPI thing that you showed before kind of says everything, to be honest with you. They've got, I think, all right, they've got the flags up the top, but that little purpose thing, it's like, it's not really important. Like, there's other stuff that's more important than flags and the supporters and the members. And I'm pretty sure that KPI stuff, that was, I think, constructed by the board. So,
well, Brian
clearly,
Cook.
Yeah, so clearly,
with the board, for sure.
Yeah.
With the board, I'm sure they had input.
Yeah, but I feel like the board has their focus elsewhere, like with that, I think, Respects program and other community programs that they do. I feel like footy isn't the top number one priority to them. Clearly it's not, because if it was, then the performances would have been different. But then again, we've got someone in Graham Wright that's coming in that, if I'm being honest with you, he's probably our one last hope, because he's obviously done what he did at Collingwood and Hawthorn, and if he can, I'm just really hopeful that he's allowed to do what he wants to do. Like, hopefully the board don't try and get into his face and try and stop him from doing what he should be doing.
It's an interesting comment you make, because you just said hopeful that, Graham Wright comes in and he had success at Collingwood and Hawthorn, and I hope that he has full reins to do what he wants to do. I reckon in 2021, 2022, when we knew Brian Cook was coming, it was, I'm so excited for Brian Cook to come in because he had success at Geelong and West Coast, and I just hope the board let him do what he needs to do. Like, we're just like replacing one name with another. We're replacing the same name with players now. At first, it was Walsh, who had that youthful exuberance and that obsessiveness for higher standards. And now we've watched him really look like he's struggling and it's really getting to him. And now we're seeing young Ollie Hollands with that youthful exuberance and that never say die attitude. And, it's like eventually we might be talking about Ollie, who's just exhausted from continuing to do the unrewarded running.
Yeah, I feel like it comes down to coaching and roles and all that, but it could come down to a lot of things. Like, maybe there's stuff going on inside the club that nobody knows about that's affecting their performances. Like, who knows? Maybe Elijah taking time off has probably got into their heads a little bit. What else happened? Was there another player that? Just Elijah that happened recently.
I mean, Harry's obviously taken time off for his personal reasons as well. And listen, there's no doubt that has to have some sort of a lingering effect.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'd like to think they care for one another, even though at times it looks like they don't. But I'd like to think that footy club, footy team, your brothers, when one hurts, you're all hurt. Maybe I'm delusional in thinking that they do care for one another, but I'd like to think that it has some sort of effect on them. Yeah,
I mean, clearly, but I feel like with the Elijah's second, I mean, him taking time off, fair enough. Him, good on him. He needs to. If he wants to take time off, fair enough. I feel like who knows why, but probably the players are a bit. Hey, I don't want to speculate, but I feel like there's probably a little bit tension in there within the club, probably. But yeah, I'm just really concerned about where we're going this year. Like you said before, that maybe this year isn't our year because of plenty of factors that contributed to the start of this year, especially in January with Luke Sayers and all that. And clearly that's swept down to the playing group because clearly our performances over the year has not been good enough. And you've already got people that are jumping off, and you've already got people that don't want to sign up again for next year. And can you really blame them? Because I can't. Genuinely, at the game on Saturday on the ground, you couldn't even hear a peep. I could hear Wiedering talk half the time than the players, than the supporter base, to be honest with you. But yeah, I feel like everyone's just sick and tired of it now. You're not angry, you're not upset, you're just disappointed that where we are, in terms of the age demographic profile of some of these players and what they've achieved individually, you'd feel like that we should be way better than where we are now. And that's the most disappointing thing, because a part of me thinks that they probably don't really want it as much as what we think they do, to an extent, because if you've got TDK walking and jogging around, then that says basically everything. Because I feel like he's checked out. To be honest with you, his performance on Saturday it just said it all for me. And I feel like we probably need to start looking a little bit ahead to next year now, because I can't see what we're going to do this year, unfortunately.
So let's just say, I think I agree with you, by the way. So let's just say we're looking forward to next year. Do you think you need to hear something from the club to come and address the fans and the members and say, hey, this is the direction of where we're actually going? Because I feel like they haven't said something. Maybe they're not giving up on the year, and I think rightly so. I mean, maybe fans might give up on the year, but I think my opinion is I don't think the team should ever be giving up. They should be fighting to the last siren of the last game, no matter what. That's like a non-negotiable, right? That's your job. So do you want to see some sort of a bit of clarity from someone at the club to say, hey, this is the direction? Because I think there's just, I mean, we heard top 4 at the start of the year, and then now it's not looking anything close to that.
Yeah, what you just said is fine. I want to hear something from either Graham Wright or Voss if he's still there, or even Cripps. Just come and talk to the supporters, not through an email, through a scripted email that's probably created by ChatGPT. Come out, just make a video, with the leaders, or open training. Say we're going to open up open training end of the year. Let's say hypothetically our year goes to shit, we finish 9th, and then the club, the captain says, "Oh, come to open training this time. Ask us questions and we'll answer them." They need to talk, because I feel like we don't get that transparency. Because at the start of the year it was top 4, and then I don't want to I'm not trying to pick on Harry, because other people clearly said the same thing what he said. When he said we're not in a rush to win a flag, clearly people higher up in the club said that, and that's how it got spread around. So it's just confusing at the moment. Even
to be just before you go on, just on your point, to be fair to one person, that's Michael Voss. Every open training session, those viewing sessions that I've gone to, just for because I agree, make yourself available, talk to your people. He always does come over to the fence and has chat. He does kind of make himself available. Obviously, not everyone can go to those sessions because it's during the work week, but I agree. Some openness of chats and communication, and I definitely agree. But I will say Voss definitely does that at trainings, the ones that I go to.
Yeah, but then again, some of us aren't even there.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just miscommunication. You got Brian Cook saying top 4, and then got Harry saying what he's saying, which fair enough. High up in the club, people said that, and then I feel like there's miscommunication with list management and the coach as well, because last year Voss wanted, I think, Houston, and then I think Nick Austin basically said no, we want Jagger. So it's kind of confusing, because if we got Houston, then that basically says that we're still in that premiership window. Albeit Houston probably wouldn't have made a difference, but if we're going down that Jagger route, which I personally think that's a really good decision that they made, then it probably says that we're not really contending, and Nick Austin probably is looking far ahead beyond next year, and he's probably looking towards Tassie and thinking, look at the age demographic of this group. He probably has no faith in this group at the moment, and he's probably looking towards the draft. And the first step that he did was to get Jugger, and I think that basically says that he probably thinks we're not good enough. So I feel like the club all around, like there's just confusion, miscommunication with everyone.
Fair.
And clearly, if you look at the season, we are where we deserve to be because it's from all those factors I've just mentioned to you just now. So if there was transparency and if everyone was on the same page, then we'd be in a much better spot. But clearly we're not. And yeah, we will win our next 3 games, hopefully. But then after that, if you look at the games after, I can't even say us winning 2.
Fair.
So I just think we're in for a long year. And I don't think they'll sack Voss. I think they'll keep him next year. But if they're going to do that, then you need to change his assistants. You need to change Brad Lloyd, the assistants, everything. Because, and I'd even go as far as say you need to probably get rid of TDK and trade someone else as well. Because I love these players, but they've been here long enough, and they're probably not going to take us anywhere. Some of these players, because yeah,
Fair, mate. Good points. Good chat. Good conversation. Thank you.
No, it's all good.
Speak to you soon.
You too. See ya.
I remember. Liam.
What's happening, mate?
AKA LS.
What's going on?
Great to put a face to the name, mate. All good on this end. What about you? How you doing?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long year, Tess. It's been a real long year.
You wrote a comment maybe yesterday. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. You wrote a comment on the review video, or maybe it was the fan cams. And I see more and more of that rhetoric over the last few weeks. And I have, it's sad to see people, willing to give up their, consecutive membership streaks. Like that's very important to a lot of people, getting that streak up. And so it's sad to see that happening from the members.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I felt like, man? It was almost like, I almost felt like a gambling addict, just waiting for that next, they're going to go on a run and I'm going to miss out. And you're just sort of waiting for that big win. And it wasn't a decision I made lightly, but I just feel like this club, mate, they are in a shambles at the moment. And I don't even think they know it. That's the scariest part. I don't even think they realize.
I think there's some of them that think we're cooked, some of them that think we're okay. Well, I mean, they're probably no different to like the fan base. I mean, there are always going to be those who think we're going okay or something's around the corner and have hope. I definitely withering hope, but I think this Giants game was that was bad, man. The attitude of these players on Saturday was it was fucking bad, man. Bad as it gets.
It was putrid, especially with the outs that the Giants had. You can't cop a loss like that. You just can't. You shudder to think if those blokes had played, how bad it would have been.
I watched that replay and conservatively, I said to myself, how did we not lose by 20 goals?
Yeah. And then just to pour salt in the wounds, you see what Melbourne did to Sydney yesterday, and you think, how did we lose that game as well?
Mm.
And it's just, let me ask you a question. 2 years ago, the Sydney first final that we played in 2023, we won by 6 points. Had we lost that game, would you have a completely different opinion of this club?
I don't know how to answer that question because it's very hypothetical.
Yeah, it is.
I think I would have said something along, I'm guessing now, I would have said something along the lines of, shouldn't have been in that position. You wasted opportunities, but at least you dug yourselves out and you fought it to the end and you made finals. And, you know, you got to learn your lessons in the next year and don't fuck it up, which is kind of what we said that year anyway. But I don't know how to answer that question, but yeah, that's my best.
I think a lot of the faith within the supporter base is based off that 2023 run. And I think had that never happened, I think a lot of supporters would probably be singing a different tune with things like Voss and everyone else associated with him, assistant coaches, CEOs.
Well, I think that's a lot to do with the fact that how young are you? How old young are you?
34.
Yeah, we're the same age. So I think it's got a lot to do with we didn't see finals. We haven't seen a lot of success, and maybe the bar is low because a lot of the previous generation who saw flags, like finals was just finals. I mean, they've seen, you know, 3, 4, 5 flags. But for us, we hadn't seen that deeper run in a season, you know, ever, not to a prelim. So I think it gave us, and I think fair enough. I don't believe you fluke your way to a prelim. I mean, I think the game's too hard to fluke 10 weeks of football, 11, 12, whatever it was. So I'll give credit for that, what it was. And I think that's what's given us the idea that no one else has been able to take us to that point. So maybe they can go 1 better or 2 better or whatever. I don't know what everyone else thinks on that, but they got there. That's the fact. They got there. The monkey off the back was the group hadn't played finals. Not only did they play a final, they won a final, then they won the second one. So a lot of monkeys were off the back from that year.
I just feel like they've just rested on that and just thought, you know what? We got to a prelim. That's pretty good. I mean, you guys touched on it before. Like, you got Harry coming out before the year saying, you know, we're not in a hurry to win a premiership. I think Sam Walsh said something in before the season as well. A premiership doesn't define us or something along those lines. And it just makes you question, how hungry are these blokes?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying it for years, but Mitch McGovern, if you go watch his back chat interview that he did with Will Schofield, there's no hunger in that bloke at all. None. He's just out there to play footy for a laugh, really. He doesn't care whether he wins a premiership or not.
Yeah. And that's tricky
and that
because
sort of attitude, it's infectious.
Yeah. And that's tricky because for a lot of people, making the AFL is good enough. And I think that is an important point. Like, in order for the club to actually win a premiership, you have to have most, if not everyone, obsessing about wanting to win a premiership. And if some people are comfortable just being at the level, and, you know, at the end of the day, some of them look at it as a job. We might not like hearing that, but I just think those people shouldn't be at this club. Go play,
Absolutely.
go have it be a job for you and just make good money at another club. Why does it have to be this club?
Unfortunately, I think that probably 60 to 70% of our list is made up of those sorts of players, though. Like, how many players do you think are on our list right now that you would say this bloke could break both of his legs to win a premiership? I reckon maybe 4 or 5.
It's a really good question.
It is. It
Like
is.
the ones that you can sort of see, the ones that like they want to succeed more than they're willing to sort of breathe.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But then even little things like, I love Jacob Wiedering. Like, I think he's our most consistent performer, even above Patrick Cripps. But even him, he doesn't even want to play in the same backline as Lewis Young. Like, these are the sort of problems that we've got. And it's like, where are we going if this is what we're doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that connection piece, as they called it, they ain't connected. They are.
Nah,
and then they're connected for a week. You know, they'll find it for a week after 3 weeks of not being connected. And it's like, oh, okay. Geelong, St Kilda, connected. Bit of adversity, resilience, pulled through. And then they're just disconnected pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, honest conversations. Like, okay, great. And then it's like another one. It's like, great. And then they change and then they go back.
It's like pulling 23 strangers together and just telling them to go out there and play football. It's just, it's crazy to watch every week. Like, there's no synergy. It's just so flat. This is the most unlikable playing list we've had for so long, in my opinion.
Yeah. I have not seen this level of resentment for a very long time. Like, it's like borderline resentment. I just wonder how they'll spin it at the end of the year. I mean, I know I'm crazy, but like, surely the 3-game winning streak at the start of earlier this year is not the best part of 2025. Like, they can't get worse than this, right? This is 4-7 team that had top 4 aspirations. Like, surely.
I think if we lose to Essendon coming out of the bye, you'll see the venom come out.
I think you're
but
right.
then it'll be all right, though, because we'll beat North, we'll beat West Coast, the ladder predictors will start coming back out, and we'll be flying again, mate.
I've been doing ladder predictors for 3 weeks, bro.
Oh, mate. They got us good, this mob. They've got us good. They actually don't know how good they've got at this club. If we were any other club, what did they have a win? 13,000 at their game?
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? There was 36,000 at that GWS game.
Yeah. And they've got to be careful. I mean, we can say empty threats all we like. Oh, we'll stop going. Like, they're still always going to get pretty big crowds, I think.
Yeah.
And that's part of the... It's not, is it a problem? I don't know if it's a problem, but you can't let that go if you're the club.
I think once you've lost that, it's a tough road back from there. Very tough road back from there.
Yeah. Well, they're selling $10 tickets, man.
Selling $10 tickets. I wish I'd have known about that. Could have loaded up.
Yeah.
Put the family on. Get everyone disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
no good, mate.
Stick fat, mate. It's good to have you. You haven't called in before, have you?
Nah, first time. First time.
Love that. Well, appreciate you being in the live chat, mate. You've been a great contributor.
Thanks, Tez. Appreciate it, mate.
All right, mate. See ya.
Have a good night. Go Baggers.
Go Baggers. Peter. Peter?
Terry, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Good. I thought I haven't, as you know, I haven't called it. I haven't called in before, but I thought I was inspired to call in for this one.
What was the inspiration?
The inspiration, Terry, was your chat to Riley on the fan cams, where you said that Riley had not put his life on hold waiting for Carlton.
Yeah.
And you admired that and also reflected that you have, to some extent, tied this part of your life to Carlton.
Yeah.
And I wanted to acknowledge that because you carry a burden on behalf of all of us. You have come back to Australia to document the 17th flag. And you know that may not happen for a long time.
Yep.
And I heard you today talking about the way the club is being run and the way the club is treating us as customers.
Customers and competitors.
And I wanted to talk about that because I think well, that was the thing I wanted to point out. The club has already said it sees you as a competitor.
Hmm.
And Blue Abroad is a membership organisation. And I think you represent what membership is about. Perhaps the club doesn't. See where I'm going with this, Terry?
Yeah, I think I do. The sense of community is really what is the most important part about here.
I wonder what our yes. What would our strategic plan for the Carlton Football Club look like? And how would we, as a membership organisation, best hold the club to account?
Yeah. Still trying to figure that one out.
You're familiar, of course, with English football and how, English football teams have lost their clubs.
Yeah.
And the fans fight to get their club back.
Yeah.
In the 21st century, how does Blue Abroad fight to get its club back?
Coming out here, giving me the deep ones, Peter. Love it. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
See, we don't have access to the players. We don't have access to the coaches. But we do have access to the customers. We could report what we think the professionalism and connection of the Carlton Football Club looks like.
Yeah.
We could benchmark Carlton against the best in Australian sport and international sport. And you can become a true competitor.
I don't think anyone's ever come onto this channel and really hit me the way you just did. Yeah. It's time to grow up.
See, I've spoken to you, Terry, about how you have changed. You have asked and you have demanded that we become different supporters of the club.
Mm.
You tried to change behaviours and you've been very successful at it. Maybe this is just the next iteration of that development.
Maybe. I mean, every year there's always, I always do think like, what's the next evolution of this all? For the most part, I always think about just staying consistent over a long period of time, like decades of coverage. So there's something to think about. Got me good, Pete.
I appreciate you, Terry, for all the work you've done on behalf of my friends and family and the community. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries, Pete. Thanks for calling in, mate.
See you, mate. Go Blues.
Go Blues. Now that is how you talk. There's a lot to chat about. There's a lot to think about. That has just smacked me right in the face. So I think that's a good way to end the show. I truly thought this might have been a 15-minute show. So thanks to everyone that tuned in. I started this show with a lot of frustration. I still feel it. But I end this show with a little bit more calmness. So stay tuned. This week will be a lot about the mid-season review. No preview of a game this week. And, unfortunately or fortunately, we can't stop. I think that's the one thing I've learned about this whole journey. I mean, you just can't get stuck in mud. Got to keep moving forward, even when it looks terrible, even when they're showing their attitude on the field like that, even when all of these dysfunctional traits are showing themselves. Got to keep moving forward. So I think that's very important that we continue to do that. Vent and move, and then maybe one day it'll turn around. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who called in. Thanks to everyone who watches and likes and subscribes and is a member of the channel. We'll just keep going. A well-deserved break for everyone, I think. Much love. Go Blues.